Hello and welcome. My name is Grace. This is my channel and this is a monthly favorites. This is going to be a combination of monthly favorites and things I'm going to be doing, reading, or whatever in July. So, yeah, it took me a couple of weeks to feel like coming back. I was just, I don't know. I was overtired, or I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it, people. And I didn't want to make videos when I'm not feeling it, because those videos suck. But anyway, I'm assuming, of course, that this video is not going to suck because I actually feel like it today. So, fingers crossed. All right. So, monthly favorites. It's been, I don't know. I don't think this year I did many monthly favorites. I think I stopped doing them at a certain point. And to be honest, I'm doing one today just to get back into the swing of things. There's things I want to talk about, and it might be in the midst of these monthly favorites, or it might be another video. I don't know. I'm just trying to get into the flow a little bit and see where that leads. All right. So today I'm going to talk about some decks and probably more books than decks, or about the same number of decks and books, I guess, and some other objects, items, products I've been enjoying in the month of June. So yeah, this is going to be one of those things that I've been doing in the month of June, or got in the month of June, enjoyed in the month of June, and things that are going to be carrying forward with me into the month of July. All right, so let's talk a little bit about summer, because I need to talk about summer. Summer is not my favorite season. Thank goodness I live where there's 4 seasons, because I got to tell you that summer isn't one of them. Now, since for those of you who may or may not know, it's over 6 years that I adopted a ketogenic way of eating, and I have to say that has gone a long way. One, it's like, I'm no longer a type 2 diabetic. It's 5 years now, and counting, because I keep checking. And what was I saying? Oh yeah. So there's a whole diabetes thing, which, but also I find I tolerate the heat better. Physically. Emotionally, mentally, not so much. Summer's not my favorite season. Maybe because I'm not a beach person. Maybe because we don't have a swimming pool. Maybe, you know what I mean? It's like summer isn't exact. Maybe because yeah. I don't sunbathe. Oh my God, do people even use that term anymore? Sunbathing? My age is showing, and you know what? I don't care, because it is what it is. I don't tan. I think I stopped tanning the summer I turned 28. Stay out of the sun at all costs. I take lots of vitamin D, but I stay out of the sun. And my skin thanks me. But anyway, I digress. Or I'm losing track of what I'm saying. I don't like summer. Summer, to me, is when I hibernate. Now, it could be an emotional thing, a psychological thing. It could be a habit thing. When I was a young child, my parents divorced, and I ended up living in foster care with relatives in Montreal. Every summer, I got put on a bus and sent back to Connecticut when school was out. So summer, I rarely, there's some summers, not the whole summer, don't get me wrong, but for at least about a month, I'd get put on a bus and sent to Connecticut to stay with my dad. So summer has always felt a little disjointed for me, because when you're a kid, what happens? Your friends move on, your friends make other friends, and they have experiences with those friends. You weren't there. You come back. It's time to go back to school, and it's like you're completely out of touch with everybody. So there's that. Then there was the fact that I'm an only child. They'd put me on a bus, I'd travel alone, a Greyhound. Then once I arrived at destination, my dad worked 4 days in the week, 4 5, like he worked away, like he had his house in Middletown, but he worked in Norwalk, Connecticut, and he would just stay there, just because like the commute back and forth was ridiculous. Gas prices, it was inflation at that time. You know what I mean? Like it was a different life then. He drove a freaking Cutlass Supreme that guzzled gas, but anyway. Why am I telling you all that? Because of summer. So I would spend summer reading. I spent summer hibernating. When I wasn't old enough to work, I spent summer reading. All I did was read. I would hang out with my dad's girlfriend at the time, who I considered to be my stepmom. I love her. I miss her. She passed away a few years ago. Taught me everything I know about thrifting. She would take me thrift shopping. I would help her set up her tag sale, her yearly tag sale with all the wacky stuff that people drop off at her house. So summer has a different feel for me. It's industrious. Summer is hibernation. Summer is also because again, the same kind of situation. I'm an only child. I'm down in the States or whatever. I would visit my mom at the same time because my mom was in care, also in Middletown, coincidentally, and so I would go and visit my mom, which was very emotional and heartbreaking and all that stuff that goes with it. And then, she would teach me how to do stuff like embroider and make hooked rugs and stuff like that, and knit, not knit, she never taught me to knit. She taught me how to crochet. Knitting, she kept that to herself. I had to learn on my own with YouTube. Anyway, and I'm not that good at it, but I still enjoy it. So summer for me is hibernation. Summer for me is industrious. Summer for me is getting ready for the year ahead. Summer is crafting and drawing and reading. Summer is also when I discovered everything metaphysical. Summer is when I went to my first metaphysical shop. Summer is when I first discovered witchcraft and incense and all those. So summer. I know I just finished saying it's not my favorite season, but it's not, because I don't. For me, summer is not what summer is to other people, which is vacation and relax and all this stuff. For me, summer is it's a very industrious time. It's a very busy time. It's a very creative time. For me, it's like I enter the underworld in the summer. And I also in the summer, the month of July, this is where like some people call it intuition, I call it my psychic vision, goes dark for the month of July until after my birthday. It's very interesting. It's been like that my whole life, as far as I've been tracking it. So there's that. So last month I spent a lot of time, and I'm glancing over there because that's where my home office, workshop, sacred space, where everything happens, is in that corner. It's an open concept area. This is my dining room, and that's where the corner of the open concept area, that corner is mine, the other corner is my husband's. All right. Like you needed to know that. Behind this wall is my kitchen. Okay. There's the house tour. I spent last month getting myself ready for hibernation. So last month, there was books acquisition, either via the internet. That's my dog slurping her elbow. Yeah, on the floor, I think. Sorry. The attention span of a gnat today. Okay, here we are. Speaking of which, I have a bug bite story. But anyway, let's go back to, so last month, up until last week, because this month just started. There was new books came into my life. I went, I pulled books off my shelves that I already owned, in preparation to explore over the coming season of hibernation. My season of hibernation is typically July, August. Although August I already start to feel fall. So, but that's because I see it's ingrained, right? It's conditioned. And hang on, my dog is driving me crazy. Stop! Stop! How much slurping do you need to do? Oh my gosh, I didn't pause. I don't edit, people, I'm sorry, this is it. Alright, oh my goodness. Yeah, I know, that was like too much. Cinema verite, people. Cinema verite. Oh my goodness. Can you see my pupper? This is my pupper. Pupper? Look at the camera. Come here. Come, look. Oh, look at his face. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, let's carry on. So, I got my stuff ready for hibernation. And 12 minutes just explained to you that I hibernate in the summer. And I'm looking forward to, I think this summer I'm going to make another, years ago I made myself a swamp witch shawl. And I don't even know if that pattern's online anymore, but if you're interested, and I can find it, I will, let me know in the comment section and I'll link it. I'll put it in the description box. It's very easy. It's very forgiving if you're like me and you're not really good at knitting. And I've worn it in many videos. It looks like black crow feathers because of the yarn that I used. So I'm looking forward to making another one. Oh my goodness, she's starting again. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm back. You want to see? Let me show you the books. No, I'm going to show you a product. So I have to tell you that since I ran out of Florida water. And for those of you who live in Canada, I was able to source it from Banyan Books and Sound. Now, the reason I'm plugging the store name is because they carry my book. They're awesome. But they had Florida water, and I looked at it, and I just ordered it without, then really take a good look at it online. And when I received it, it's Agua de Florida, and it's, or Agua de Florida, I don't know how the Florida part is pronounced. And it says Amarillo, New York, Peru. Well, this, people, at first I was like, I can't smell it. I'm crazy. At first I was, oh my God, I can't smell it. What did they sell me? Is it fake? I'm crazy, right? But this, just because I was always used to the other one that has like more of an aqua color. This has a yellow. This is more of a golden. Can you see? This has more of a golden. Can you see? Yeah. This has more of a golden color. And it has a fuzzier, softer amber base. Well, I've been spraying this stuff everywhere. I have it in one of those amber amber glass spray bottles that I got on, of course, where everybody gets their stuff, Amazon. And I take it with me to work. I spray the examination room before I see a patient. I spray the examination room after I see a patient. I spray it on myself. I spray it in my car. It was we had we just had a heat wave break here in British Columbia, and on Wednesday it was 48 degrees, 48.5 in my car when I got in to start the engine. 48.5 is beyond 115 Fahrenheit. Just to give you, it was Arizona weather here. But I have to tell you, I never, like, again, I hated the heat. It was too hot to do anything. But as far as arthritis pain, I had none, people. I was running up and down the stairs just because I could. Anyway, there's that. When the heat wave started last week, I hauled out my eau de Lancôme. Eau de Lancôme is by Lancôme. So it's eau de Lancôme, and it's a classic. It reminds me of my childhood. A relative wore this. It was always in their bathroom. I used to go in as a kid and go, love it, love it, love it, love it. And it's still widely available. If you're a frag head, has it been reformulated from the original? There's a couple of things at play. I had some of the original left over, and fragrances become they mature over time when you have vintage fragrances. If I collect vintage fragrances. And I even learned that the stuff you buy brand new matures. So when I bought this, it smelled of nothing. And I just put it in my closet. I waited a year, and now it smells incredible. Has it been reformulated from the original from 1966, 67? Don't quote me, but it was in the late 60s that this thing was released. Has it been, well, yeah, it's been reformulated. I think it's the IFRA regulations and all this stuff. Oak moss is the devil and all this stuff. They're using whatever they're using. They're using a good substitute, synthetic substitute for oak moss. Love it. It's very herbal. It starts with a blast of citrus, more bergamot or citron, not lemon, and then it just turns into like an herbal. It's beautiful. It's herbaceous and love it. Okay. Those are the only two products I'm going to talk about. The Florida water that I spray everywhere and the eau de Lancôme that I wear. All right. Books. Oh, before I start with books, I want to say thank you to Lori Jo. Lori Jo is one of the viewers here. She often posts comments, and she sent me this beautiful rosary that she made. So look at these knots, people. Look at this. Isn't this incredible? I love it. Thank you, Lori Jo. I absolutely love it. And yeah. I received this package with a beautiful letter. She and her wife. Very, very nice. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I messaged her and I asked if I could mention her and I remember reading yes. But I don't think I had time to. I didn't internalize whether she makes these to sell them or not. So Lori Jo, when you see this, please comment below if you sell them, so people can find your comment and your link to where you sell them. If you don't sell them, well, it's still beautiful. I love it, and I feel really, really grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. There's that. Which leads me to my next thing. So this is this segment with the rosary. And this next book is specifically if you are one of my peeps that practices folk magic, any kind of folk magic that is informed by Catholicism or that has a Catholic component to it. I always start with the same disclaimer. Before you post a comment, although you do entertain me, because I find it fascinating that Christians will post hate comments under my videos. What are they doing watching this video? I don't know. But anyway, I don't go to church. And I'm a metaphysical person. I practice Italian folk magic, or folk magic in general, not just Italian. I practice folk magic, and years ago, I kept what I loved about Catholicism, and I released the church because the church no longer reflected my values, no longer reflected my connection, or what brings me joy, right? Anyway, so I'm trolling Amazon because it was one of those days where I don't even know how I came across this. I honestly do not know. But the cover drew me in. So, and it's called Mary's Mantle, Consecration, a spiritual retreat for heaven's help. Look at this cover. Now, I'm not going to recommend this book, but I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to say you need this, because I got to tell you. So, I live under a rock. I don't know who Christine Watkins is, and and I didn't spend too much time researching who she is, but when I see a book titled Mary's Mantle, Consecration, a spiritual retreat for heaven's help for busy individuals, families, groups, and parishes by Christine Watkins, I'm thinking it's going to have a feminine point of view, especially because it's about Mary, Mother Mary, la Madonna. Look at this beautiful Madonna Guadalupe. Anyway. Wow, I guess I didn't read the little, there's one in each corner, and then there's one on the bottom. It says, endorsed by Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone and Bishop Myron J. Cotta, forward by Monsignor James Murphy. So two Italian names and an Irish name. Male. So I opened this book, and there's good stuff in here. So basically is you work with, and it's also available in Spanish, El Manto de Maria. So if you're looking for the Spanish translation, there's about the author, which I honestly didn't read, because I can't remember how I came to know this. But it's, I think every day there's a word to meditate on. Thanksgiving, commitment, love, trust, kindness, tenacity, endurance. Beautiful. And I skipped the forward. I did, people. I'm being honest. It's like sometimes it's like I'll open up a book and I go straight to what I want to do. So, the 4 spiritual practices of Mary's Mantle Consecration. All right, keep in mind, people, again, I am not proselytizing Catholicism. I'm a folk magic practitioner, and I work a lot with the Blessed Virgin. I work a lot with the Black Madonna. I do pray the Rosary. For those of you who want to know the best way to prevent curses, malocchio, and all this stuff, pray the Rosary. Nothing comes near you. Trust me, I've seen it. So, yeah, the 4 spiritual practices of Mary's Mantle Consecration. And then, you know what the funny part was, is that only after I got this book did I see some of the reviews where people said, oh my God, after doing this for about a month, my husband stopped cheating on me and all this stuff. It's like, okay. So there's number 1, the Rosary. Number 2, fasting. I'm intermittent fasting. I'm thinking, it fits in with my lifestyle. Contemplation of virtues and the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit. Number 4, consecration to Mary. This, how to participate in Mary's Mantle Consecration. You can start you could start on a Marian feast day. So like, look, it's really nicely laid out, right? It tells you when you could start, and it culminates to a feast day. I know it's blurry, it's terrible, it's out of focus. Trust me on this. How children can participate, done as an individual, done as a couple or family. I think anything that gives you that nurtures you spiritually is a good thing. So, what's my problem with this book? It's supposed to be about Mary. I expected to hear a feminine voice in the writing, and instead, it's not about Mary. It's all about God. Now, I don't have a problem with God. Don't get me wrong. I love Jesus, the Holy Trinity, and the whole shebang. Okay, like I said, but I expected it to be a book about devotion to Mary, and it's not. And I expected the writing, the voice, to be feminine because the author's name is Christine Watkins, but it's not. I guess the two paisanos at the top and the gentleman at the bottom here who wrote the foreword decided that, I guess they must have done the editing, because this reads like a guy wrote it, and I gotta tell you, for me, it just doesn't resonate. So instead of that, I'm keeping it because I think there's value in this. I'm keeping it because there's some things that I do want to adopt from this for my own devotion to Mary. But I'm really, what I'm talking about, people, is literally like, cutting this book up. You know what I mean? It's like, this I keep, this I don't, this I keep, this I don't. And that's going to take a little time. So, but if you're watching me and you are still a devout Catholic, interested in tarot cards and all that, like if you are still a devout Catholic, you might find value in this, which is why I'm sharing it, okay? It's not expensive. I think if you are a devout Catholic, you're going to find value in this. Me, I'm a delinquent. Like it's like I'm of Catholic origin, but I don't fit in anymore. It's a long time. All right. That's so confusing. But you know what? It's because it's funny. I don't fit in with the Catholic people because I'm not. And in the witchcraft community, I'm criticized, either behind my back or in front of me or whatever. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what people say about me behind my back or in front of me. But I find that there's a lot of hate for people who are Christian. So much for pagans and tolerance and all this stuff. And so much for Christians and their tolerance. Nobody's tolerant. Everybody's full of shit. We're all full of shit. All right, next. I'm sure that's going to go over really well. Okay, a book that came back into my life last month because I went looking for it, because I must have lent mine out because I couldn't find it, is this. This book, look, I'm sorry, I apologize, it's out of print, but a lot of these quotes are online. You can actually find them on the internet. And this is Brian Andreas' Story People. And it's poetry, and it's, this is what the book looks like. I'm happy I found it. What really spooked me when I got it was, I have the title card of the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg as a bookmark. I don't have the deck anymore, but I have the title card. To the person I gave the deck to, sorry. I have the title card. Anyway, when I opened it, long story short, oh my god, it's half an hour, I didn't show you anything. Okay. When I opened it, it landed right on the poem that for me I discovered when my dad was dying of cancer, and it's called Disappearing, and I'm not. Oh, okay, I'll read it to you because it's not very long. It's very short. But the fact that it opened right on the poem that I know and that was meaningful to me, like, freaked me out a little bit. But not coincidence, it's synchronicity. The day he first told me he was starting to disappear, I didn't believe him, and so he stopped and held his hand up to the sun, and it was like thin paper in the light. And finally I said, "You seem very calm for a man who is disappearing." And he said, "It was a relief after all those years of trying to keep the pieces of his life in one place." Later on, I went to see him again, and as I was leaving, he put a package in my hand. "This is the last piece of my life," he said. "Take good care of it." And then he smiled and was gone, and the room filled with the sound of the wind. And when I opened the package, there was nothing there. And I thought, there must be some mistake, or maybe I dropped it. And I got down on my hands and knees and looked until the light began to fade, and then slowly I felt pieces of my life fall away, and suddenly I understood what he meant, and I lay there for a long time, crying and laughing at the same time. So, thrift books, Abe books, thrift stores, secondhand bookstores, online, Brian Andreas, Story People. You probably already have this book. It was big in the 90s. Okay. What else? More books, and then finally decks. So, way back when, in the mists of time, no longer to be seen on the internet, when I did the live thing on my channel, one of the books recommended by a viewer, Daughter of the Moon, was A Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe. This, my friends, is required reading for magicians. This book gets me because, for me, science and magic are the same thing. Or for me, science is magic, magic is science. So I'm really happy. I haven't read it cover to cover. I started dipping into it and taking a look, and it's like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to really enjoy that. The same viewer, okay, she's my friend, but thank you. She recommended this one, The Chemistry of Tarot, The Secret Science of Kabbalah by Babette Leeper. I think this is a self-published book. And I thought, for me it just makes sense to pair these up and to spend some time with them. The Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe is very sciencey. This is The Chemistry of Tarot. Many of you know, if you've been watching me for a few minutes, I love my Thoth, but I don't know the first thing about Kabbalah. I did not study books. I picked up a Thoth deck and was able to just read it without reading a book. Do I have the books? Yes, I have the Book of Thoth by Aleister Crowley. I have Gerd Ziegler's Something of the Soul. Yeah, I'm terrible. If there's interest, I'll show you my Thoth books. Let me continue with books that came into my life in June that I'll be spending some time with. I think I mentioned this one in my last video, Untie the Strong Woman. I either mentioned it in the video or I posted it on Instagram. For me, it's all a blur. But this is by, you could see her name, Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And very much like Women Who Run with the Wolves. It's not a book that I started reading from page one and I'm reading. It's one that I just open up and read what's there. Like I open it up and that's what I read. For instance, kind of like bibliomancy, but I enjoy her writing so much. Also, Women Who Run with the Wolves. I've never read it from cover to cover. I've picked it up, read parts of it, put it back down. I have a lot of her audio stuff. Mother Night is, I'm listening to Mother Night for the second time. Stories that teach you how to see in the dark or something like that. Anyway, love her. So this is my companion for hibernation season. And the last book I'm going to share with you is Italian language. I saw this on the Ruse Kitchen. I think it was, I want to say Andrea Romanazzi posted it on his Centro Misterioso, on his Facebook group. Centro dei Misteri. Oh my God, it's terrible. People, I'm telling you, I'm so out of touch. I took a bit of a break from the internet and social medias and all this stuff. If you're watching me and you notice me suddenly following you on Instagram, it's because I unfollowed everything on Instagram. So I'm looking for, so now I'm looking for the people I used to follow, and I'm following them again. Slowly but surely, I'm gonna find you all. But anyway, that was like same thing with YouTube. If you're wondering like what the hell, like, weren't you a subscriber or whatever? Yeah, I was. I unsubscribed from everything. I needed quiet. I needed a break. Now I'm slowly resubscribing. Okay. This book, Andrea Romanazzi, I think he posted it on his Facebook group, or he posted it to mine. I'm not sure. But I was drawn to it. It's called L'Alba dei Veneti, Mito e Storia delle Origini. Now, my mom was born in Istria, which is now Croatia, but ethnically, her people came from Venezia Giulia, il Veneto, and all this stuff. So I was interested in a book about their myths and stories, origin stories and myths. And also because what drew me is that I was trying to understand, why am I drawn to Norse mythology? Well, why am I drawn to Norse mythology? Why am I drawn to Celtic mythology? It's because it's all related, is what I'm trying to say. There's overlap because humans migrated. Anyway, so this is another book. I could only get this one because I live in Canada, and it's, thankfully Amazon.com in America had this one, and it literally came from the Netherlands. This one was shipped to me from the Netherlands, so I look forward to, and it's a really nice quality book. Look at this. It's got these nice glossy pages and photographs, and not all the pages are black, but I think that's a nice touch. Some of the pages are blue. It's the printing, the production value it's very Italian. It's a very Italian book. It reminds me of the Italian textbooks when I went to Italian school on Saturdays in Montreal when I was growing up. All right, ready? Now it's decks. Okay, look. It's my main tarot deck, this thing. You've all seen this guy before. This was a card. This card was on my altar for about a week. I drew it last week, and it meant something all week. My favorite, deck card. Isn't he great? Um, so this is a greenie. This is, I think, is a 1983 greenie. I love it. I know I sniff my deck all the time because it smells of sandalwood incense. I'm telling you, there's something when I love wear on the deck. I think that's what one of the things I'm loving the most since I called my deck situation. I think I was one of the first people last year talking about that I missed having that close relationship with my tarot deck, and that, you know, the collection had gotten out of control. I'm not a collector. Because I'm not a collector, I didn't feel at ease having all these decks that I didn't use and whatever. So there was a big cull. It was a whole process. It took months, and now I love what I have left, and I love that the decks I kept that I do have a relationship with are all showing wear, and this makes me happy. Also, they all smell like incense. I like keeping them. At first I was a bags person because that's what I knew from, like, you know, the 80s and 90s. But then having some boxes, like, you know, I have a nice treasure chest box that fits my Thoth with a crystal and the sandalwood incense. I have a box for my Rider-Waite Centennial that I use all the time to read for other people. And just last week I found the right box for my fairies, Brian Froud fairies. And so because I don't have a stupid number of decks anymore, and I'm becoming more, I'm customizing more. Like, you know, they have their own box, and some decks live together because they are kindred spirits and all that stuff. Okay. Now, again, I know I don't have to say it, but it seems like I always have to say it. I don't care how many decks you have. I only care how many decks I have. And they made me feel uncomfortable. You can have 1,000 decks and I'm going to think that's awesome. Especially when you post a picture and I could zoom in and revisit decks that I knew had whatever. It's always a lot of fun. But I'm no longer chasing the dragon in terms of acquiring new decks. Since clearing out all the ones that didn't resonate, all the ones that I consider to be FOMO, fantasy self, other people's decks. You know how we've all done it. I've done it. Let me just talk about me. Buying a deck because it's someone you admire's favorite deck, and you just want to have the deck that they love. Yeah, now I consider those to be other people's decks. What was I going to say? Doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about. Anyway, so now I have these. Now I'm enjoying tarot again. Now that it's no longer about decks and it's about tarot again, I'm freaking loving it again. And to me, once I turned that corner, I was able to come back. Now, next. So this is what I've been using. I love this guy. See, he always pops up. Okay. I've been using this one every day since I got it. So now it's over a year. Do I pine for a 1969 with the baby blue borders? Of course I do. But I'm not crazy, nor am I rich. So for whatever they're going for, I don't understand why they're going for so much money. Even the greenies, like, I don't understand people wanting $600. I understand them wanting $600 for it. Please use discernment. These are still images on cardboard, and the current printing of this through US Games is beautiful, and they have the large size like this. The only thing I don't like is the white borders on the backs. But anyway, all that to say, do I want A 1961. I love vintage. Of course, I want a 1969 Thoth. Next, the next tarot deck I've been using lately is my Animal Wise Tarot. This is the first edition on really cardboardy cardstock, but it's got this nice, like, you know, pale lilac thing going on. This is Ted Andrews. It's photographs. They're amateur photographs of animals in their natural habitat, and I just find this to be charming. The guidebook is wonderful. I'm gushing. I love Ted Andrews. I heard in passing, I don't know firsthand because I didn't hear any of it, but I heard in passing, and it might have been someone who posted a comment, a viewer posted a comment under one of my videos, that Ted Andrews posthumously is receiving hate because of appropriation. Well, my understanding was that this was his practice. So, and posthumously canceling someone because they allegedly whatever, for me, I love him. Before him, there was nobody else like him. And he was very humble. If you have an opportunity, watch him on YouTube. Thank goodness there's footage of him. So yeah, I'm not here to talk about, you know, cancel culture and all that stuff, because already I'm getting itched thinking about it. What I'm saying is that I'm using this deck, and the guidebook is very helpful. To compare it to a contemporary deck. This one I have. Oh, thank you. I have this one. That's the first edition. I also have the one that's currently available with Coco Pelli on the back of the cards. It's kind of stretched and kind of weird looking, but those cards are nice. They shuffle really nice. The photographs, some of them have been changed and they're better in terms of like quality, like print quality. But I like the way the guidebook is set up for this one, because there's writing on the margins so that when you flip through the book you can find what you're looking for quicker. But it's pretty much the same thing. So if this is something that appeals to you, it's still available in the current edition, which I also have, and that's the one I take with me, because those cards are going to last forever. They riffle shuffle beautifully, and they're very durable. Okay, the next tarot deck, and I think this is the last tarot deck, and then the other three are oracle decks. The next tarot deck lives in this bag that I made. I made this bag for the Ocean Oracle that I got from Brian and Briar on Etsy. Anyway, I moved that deck on because, as much as I love the fact that it was the Northeast Atlantic photos and stuff like that, I didn't find it very inspiring for reading. So I moved it on, but I kept the bag. And in this bag I put my Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot, that I'd like to thank my friend who told me not to move it on when, you know, during the madness of rehoming. Thank you. I'm so happy I listened. This was a gift from a lovely viewer, wonderful viewer. I was about to say their name. Milagritos. Why am I showing you the title cards? Anyway, this is not, I think this is like the first one. So it's like it's not like this thick, like the current one. This has that nice make playing cards cardstock. Sorry people, the only deck that I tolerate that's thick and matte is my Goliath Tarot, because it's stunning, because I love Goliath and I love his artwork and I love that deck. But that is the only matte thicker cardstock deck that I own. Oh my gosh. That's right. Anyway. So I pulled this one out because the colors are incredible, right? The background has that sandy beige color, and then the artwork is on top of the sandy beige color. This is mine. Obviously this is mine. Who else is this going to be? You know what I mean? It's like this is like an older, I think this is an older one. Or maybe it's the first edition. I don't know. I love it because it's got normal cardstock. Mine's not edged because it doesn't, you know, I'm not going to edge it because I'm afraid that it's going to not turn out okay. I love the color palette of this one. Oh my god. The greens and blues are just incredible with the pops of red. And I guess maybe because it's summer, maybe because I miss the ocean. I've been using this one. It's very Rider-Waite-ish, so it's easy to read, right? If you already read what Rider-Waite symbolism. But yeah, so this is with me. I use this one mainly for myself during hibernation season. The next two, I had moved them on, and I repurchased some decks that I had moved on and missed, and not many, but these are two of them. Susan Saden Boulet's Animal Spirits and Goddesses Knowledge cards. There's only two. I have 3 goddess decks. I was about to say, oh, there's only 2. No, I have 3 goddess decks. I have Dark Goddess by Ellen Lorenzi Prince, this one, and the one by Doreen Virtue, because that deck, can't help it, people. You know, what's true is true. Her earlier stuff was really valid. I'm sorry that I'd only discovered it later on, like, you know, when a friend had gifted me some of her Doreen Virtue decks, and I kept the ones that I really, you know, resonate with, and they're all the older ones. So this is back. I don't know. I don't think I need to open these up and show you what they look like. They pretty much, this is what the lion card looks like, and I can't remember because I just looked at it who this is. Hell. This is Hela. That's right. So yeah. And last, a book. I got another book I got on a friend's recommendation is Discovering Runes by Bob Oswald. So, funny story, when I looked it up on Amazon.ca, there was a review by Robert Oswald, and the guy's cousin. He was just reviewing it because it was his cousin's book and was his name on it. Like, whatever. Anyways, it was cute. This is a Runes coffee table book. Now, my only Runes book forever, like the only Runes I had forever, were the ones by, isn't that terrible? I can't remember his name. They're the ones you find at Barnes & Noble, Chapters Indigo. They're made of like polymer clay or something. Like, the Runes are made of polymer clay. They come in a velvet bag. They, there's a book. It's not, I'm told it's not that good. I don't know, because I used it a lot when I first got it in the 90s, and then I just put it away. Now my daughter has it. But anyway, I wanted a nice book on runes, and my friend recommended this one. It's out of print. It says Chartwell Books Inc. It's out of print. I got it secondhand, the usual way, thrift books. It arrived, it just had a little crack in the spine here, which I put some packing tape on. Look at this. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. I freaking love it. And last but not least, my newest acquisition. This is an early birthday present because it's birthday month in Rue's Kitchen. It's birthday month in the Fahrun household. Both my husband and I are born on the end of July. Me, literally, the last day of July, and him a couple of days before. Because I was getting into chemistry, oh my God, terrible. That science book about the universe. Oh my God, people, I'm sorry. Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe. I was in that headspace. I saw by Usi this deck, Materia Prima, an expression of matter. It's based on the periodic table of elements. I'm going to show you some cards, but I'm pretty sure, I think it's a typical tarot that has quite a video on this, but I'm just going to show you what they look like. These are the backs with these beautiful gold crackle back. Like I did with Pagan Otherworlds, and anyone else who owns an Uzi deck with the seal on the bottom, I open on the top. I open the bottom to conserve. Look at this. This card stalks me. Look at this. The card stock is nice. It's a little different. It's really slippery compared to my Pagan Otherworlds. Well, look at this. So what's this? Cadmium. Zirconium. The art style is it's just my thing. The color palette is perfect. It's just my thing. Lanthanide series. Vanadium. Silver. So here, take for instance silver. You have the symbol AG for silver and the number on the left hand side. Beautiful. This because it's not a tarot deck. See, like Pagan Otherworlds, it's a tarot deck. It's very Rider Waite. It's very easy to figure out without, you don't need a guidebook for that. This, I got the guidebook. And I'm going to plug the store I got it from, because I got to tell you people, it was really nice. The reason I got it was, one, because it appeals to me, and it is something, again, it appeals to me. I resonate with this kind of thing. I'm both left and right brain. I'm both scientific and metaphysical. For me, it's the physical and the metaphysical, the science and magic and science. So, but this, c'est un objet d'art. This is beautiful. And practical. The book is also beautiful. Why did it? Now, I got it because the subject matter appeals to me. And I got it because it's Usi quality, just from my experience with Pagan Otherworlds. I'm familiar with Usi quality. I know what to expect. I got this because I was able to purchase it from a local metaphysical shop. Now, when I say local, I mean like 300, about 4-hour drive from here, Vancouver. I don't live in Vancouver. I live in the interior. But I was able to order this from the same place I got this. And I'm going to give the store another plug because they carry my book, Banyan Books and Sound. Not only was I able to order this locally from a local metaphysical shop, I paid Canadian dollars for it. And free shipping. So, what am I trying to say? If you live in Canada and you're looking for an indie deck, check them out first. Throw them an email, see if they can get it for you. Because I got to tell you, This was an incredible experience. One, not to be gouged on the currency exchange and not to be gouged on shipping made this experience the whole package. All right. I think I've gone on long enough. I just hit the 1 hour mark. But we had a lot of catching up to do. And there was a little bit of shenanigans. So, I'm going to let you go right here. And I'll be back later with another video. Or tomorrow. I don't know. I have some videos I want to record. But I thought I'd start with this one to, break the ice. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Especially if you're still here. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video.